You might have noticed that measles has been in the news lately. Outbreaks are popping up in multiple states, and for the first time in nearly a decade, there has even been a measles-related death in the United States. This is sad for healthcare workers like myself, because measles was declared eliminated in this country back in 2000. We thought we had beaten it. So how is this happening? And more importantly, what does this mean for you? With growing vaccine hesitancy and misinformation, measles, one of the most contagious viruses in the world, is finding new opportunities to spread. And if measles is coming back, other vaccine-preventable diseases like mumps and rubella might not be far behind. This is not just a concern for children. As an adult, you might also want to know where you stand when it comes to your measles immunity. In this video, I'm going to talk about what measles is, why these outbreaks are happening, how to know if you're protected, and what actions that you might want to take. Hi, I'm Valerie, a wellness nurse. I believe that no matter your age or current health status, that you have the power to take charge of your well-being and live a longer, healthier life. My goal is to share with you the knowledge and tools that will empower you to make that happen. Many people assume that measles is just a mild childhood illness, but that could not be farther from the truth. Measles can cause severe complications, including pneumonia, brain swelling, and even death. Before the vaccine, measles was nearly unavoidable. Most people got it in childhood because it spread so easily. In fact, before 1963, nearly every American had measles at some point in their life. But thanks to the introduction of the mumps, measles, rubella vaccine, or MMR, cases plummeted and measles were no longer the massive public health issue that they once were. Now, decades later, we see it reemerging, and that means that we have to take a closer look at our own immunity. Even if you were vaccinated as a child, there are some circumstances where you might not be as protected as you think. So keep watching to learn more. Measles is a highly contagious airborne virus that spreads through respiratory droplets when an infected person coughs or sneezes. It lingers in the air for up to 2 hours, meaning that you can be exposed even if you were not in direct contact with someone who has it. The virus has a 90% infection rate among unvaccinated people who are exposed, making it one of the most contagious diseases in the world. Symptoms start with a high fever, cough, runny nose, and red, watery eyes. A few days later, the classic red rash appears, usually starting on the face and spreading downward. While most people will recover, complications can be severe, especially for young children, pregnant women, and those with weakened immune systems. The most serious complications include pneumonia, encephalitis, which is inflammation of the brain, and even long-term immune system suppression that makes people vulnerable to other infections. If measles was supposedly eliminated in the United States, why is it now coming back? There are a few key reasons. First, there has been a decline in vaccination rates, fueled by misinformation and vaccine hesitancy. The MMR vaccine is highly effective. Just 2 doses provide 97% protection, but as vaccination rates drop, the virus has more chances to spread. Second, measles is still widespread in many parts of the world. Unvaccinated travelers can bring the virus back to the United States, where it can spread quickly among those who are not immune. This is why outbreaks often start in communities with lower vaccination rates. And third, some adults may assume that they are protected when they're actually not. This brings us to an important question. How do you know if you are immune? For most adults, measles immunity depends on when you were born and whether you were vaccinated. If you were born before 1957, you are likely immune. Measles was so widespread before the vaccine that nearly everyone got it. And once you've had the measles, your body develops lifelong immunity. However, if you are in a high-risk setting, like working in healthcare, it is still a good idea to confirm immunity with a blood test. If you were born between 1957 and 1989, things are a little less straightforward. The current 2-dose MMR recommendation wasn't put in place until 1989. Before that, many people only received 1 dose, which is about 93% effective, but not as strong as the full 2-dose series. Also, some people who were vaccinated between 1963 and 1967 received a less effective killed virus version of the vaccine. If you fall into this category and don't know your status, a simple blood test called a titer can confirm whether you are immune or not. If you were born after 1989, you most likely received the 2 doses of MMR, which provides strong, long-lasting protection. But if you are not sure, you can check your vaccination records. If you want to check your immunization status, there are a few options. If you were vaccinated after 1997, your records might very well be in your state's vaccine information system. Just search online for your state's database. Your pediatrician, school, or college health center might also have your records. If you can't find proof, then your best bet is to get a titer test to check for immunity, or simply just get another MMR shot. There really is no harm in getting vaccinated again if needed. If it was me and my immunity was in question, I would just cut to the chase and get that MMR. In my own experience working in hospital employee health, every new hire had to prove immunity to measles. If they didn't have vaccine records, we did a titer. About 10% of those tests came back negative. So this doesn't necessarily mean that these people were not immune, but because their antibody levels were too low to be detected. Still, they had to receive 2 doses of MMR 1 month apart to meet employment requirements for a hospital. There are other high-risk situations where documented immunity is very important. Healthcare workers, international travelers, and those in close contact settings like schools or in the military should confirm that they are protected. Measles does just not affect individuals. It has serious public health consequences. One infected person can expose dozens of others, and outbreaks put vulnerable populations at extreme risk. Pregnant women, babies who are too young to be vaccinated, and people with weakened immune systems depend on the rest of us being immune to stay safe. And here's another concern. If measles is coming back, mumps and rubella might follow. The same vaccine that protects against measles also prevents these diseases, but declining vaccination rates could mean their resurgence too. The MMR vaccine is a combination vaccine that protects against measles, mumps, and rubella. It is one of the most effective vaccines ever developed. 1 dose provides 93% immunity to measles, and 2 doses increases that to 97%. Because it uses a live, weakened virus, it trains the immune system to recognize and fight the real infection without causing illness. Unlike some vaccines that require frequent boosters, the MMR vaccine provides lifelong protection for the vast majority of people who receive it. The MMR is also resistant to mutations because the viruses that it protects against do not tolerate mutations, so we don't have to worry about other strains coming along. Despite its safety, misinformation has led to concerns, especially the false claim that it causes autism, a myth that has been completely debunked by extensive research. Some also worry that it weakens the immune system, but in reality, vaccines strengthen immunity by helping the body build defenses in a controlled way. If you are unsure about your immunity, now is the time to check. Measles is making a comeback, but we have the power to stop it by ensuring as many people as possible are protected against it. If you know that you have had 2 doses of MMR after your first birthday, then you are covered. If not, look for your vaccine records or talk to your doctor about getting a titer test or get vaccinated. In many cases, you can simply go to your local pharmacy and get an MMR, but I do hear that some pharmacies have been selling out. The MMR vaccine is safe, effective, and critical for both personal protection and public health. Are you concerned about the current outbreak? Do you know your immunity status? Please let me know in the comments. And if you are interested in more videos about disease prevention, health, and longevity, be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any future videos. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, please take good care of yourself.